Alice and Marie Stewart bought over on Montana.
Yeah.
Nice little six-room house.
Ain't much to those little houses.
But Alice he's real handy. Sure fixed up his mother's basement nice. Wish I had somebody to fix up my basement for me.
Put enough in this shack already. The kitchen costs more than the house is worth.
Well, we got to live here.
That's what we've been doing for 30 years.
Sure ought to talk to him.
Who?
Freeman.
Freeman, Freeman, it's time to get up.
You ought to talk to him.
About what?
What he plans to do.
Nothing to do about what?
About his wife and child. Girl's expecting. Never will I be pregnant and sitting up in somebody else's house. We gotta move on and get out of here and find me some place to stay. You ought to talk to him.
Freeman is grown. When folks are grown, you leave them alone.
No, I ain't bothering him.
You better learn how to keep your hind parts out of other folks' business.
Well, now I can't talk. He just lays up here in my house and I ain't supposed to say nothing.
Well, ask him to move.
Well, I sure wish he'd hurry up and move. Giving me a headache.
Morning, Miss Teresa.
Morning, no sleep.
Morning, Mr. Ned.
Freeman up?
He's in the bathroom, working on himself. He sure is vain. Spends more time in the bathroom than any woman I ever seen.
Well, he better hurry up if he want to ride with me.
Maybe you could get him out. I hate to see him late for work.
He knows he's got a job to go to.
Freeman? Freeman, your dad is down here waiting on you.
Oh, Paulene!
Whoopee!
Would you stop that goddamn whoopee? You're not in the cotton patch now. And stop calling me. I'll be down when I get good and ready.
Thinking about naming the baby after you and my daddy.
Why don't you name him after Freeman?
Well, I reckon I could do that, but I don't really like the name Freeman too much. You wouldn't mind, would you, Mr. Ned? My naming the baby after you and my daddy?
Suit yourself.
That's what I think I'll do. Scared to name him after Freeman. Might mock him. You believe in that, Mr. Ned?
Believe in what?
that you can mark a child by the name you give it. Freeman ain't industrious. And I sure do like industrious people. Can't stand nobody lazy. I sure hope my child ain't lazy.
Freeman ain't down here yet.
He's still in the bathroom, Miss Teresa.
Boy, will you come on out of there? Ain't that your new suit? The way you go dressed down to that foundry, folks would think you were vice president of Moloch Motors.
Here's your breakfast.
Just some coffee. You can go on, Dad. I can catch a cab downtown.
Boy, ain't you going to work today?
Depends on how long my business takes.
Ned?
Boy, you better come on to your job. The man is looking for you to be on time. Now, you're a man with responsibilities. Growing responsibilities.
I can take care of him, Dad.
Come on now.
Come on, what?
You know what I'm talking
No,
about.
I don't.
Yes, you do. Now, you can't kid me. You're going to talk to me. You got to come right.
I sure hope you know what you're talking about, because I don't.
I ain't going to say no more.
Don't listen to nobody. Just knows everything.
Freeman.
Hmm?
I'm worried, Freeman.
Worried about what?
I wish my mama could come up here and be with me.
She can come.
No, she can't. I can't let her come up here and see me living like this. She have a fit.
You're doing better now than you ever did in your life.
I ain't doing as well as none of my brothers or sisters. I'm the only one rooming.
We ain't rooming.
Just because it's your mama and daddy's house, that don't change what it is.
That's how they suck you in. They get you to buy one of these shacks. They sell them to the niggas when the white folks move out. After they've worn them out, then you spend your life trying to pay for it and spend the rest of your life trying to fix them up.
Well, you gotta have some place to stay.
We got a place to stay.
It ain't ours.
When I get a house, it's gonna be one that ain't nobody ever lived in before. One I'm gonna build myself. Osali? This is the house we're gonna have.
What is it?
The house I'm gonna build in Blanchfield Hills.
Ain't that where Dr. Coleman built his house?
Yes.
Who drew it?
Designed. I did. Designed it myself. I probably could have been an architect. I took it downtown to one of those architectural firms. You know what? They thought a real architect had done it. He kept wanting to know what was the name of the architect that designed it. Just couldn't believe that I had done it. A 12-room house, brand new, never been lived in by nobody else. See here, this is the downstairs. The living room would be here, the dining room here, the kitchen here, ranch style, all electric. The library and den will be here. Serve as my study, someplace I can get away, be alone to think.
Where you gonna get the money?
I'll get it.
Sure will be hard to keep clean.
You'll have servants.
Servants?
Yes, the servants' quarters will be over the garage.
I like them houses over on Montana a heap more better.
You get used to it. Where you going?
Back to bed. I'm still sleepy. I can't seem to get enough sleep. You going with us to the supermarket after work?
Supermarket.
It's Fridays. We always go to the supermarket on Fridays. And put your dishes in the sink. I'll take it, please.
Oh, thank you, honey. Well, you just in time to help put up these groceries.
I thought you was gonna go with us to the supermarket.
No, he was too busy downtown acting a fool.
You heard about it?
Yeah, I heard about it out at the plant.
It was the talk of that hospital. Folks kept coming up to my floor to ask me if I'd heard about it. Boy, I didn't know you was that big a fool. People laughing at you. I didn't know I'd raised anybody so silly.
I was just coming out there to see about you. I heard they'd put you in jail.
Well, why didn't you?
I had to help your mother.
You know we go to the supermarket on Friday evenings.
And nothing could interfere with that.
Well, what'd you do? How did you get out?
They let me out. After I talked with a couple of psychiatrists.
Psychiatrist.
Damn judge sent them down there.
Maybe he thought there was something the matter with you.
He was just mad because I made a fool out of him.
Oh, you made a fool out of him, huh? Your behind was sitting up in jail, but you made a fool out of him.
You ain't no lawyer, Freeman.
I got my certificate from Smith's Correspondence School of Law.
Told you when you was taking that course it wasn't worth anything.
Boy, you talk crazy. You don't have no degree.
Degree. The degree didn't help them behind what I was putting on them. I was citing stuff they never heard of. I turned the judge and the county prosecutor inside out. Talking about practicing some law, I was practicing some law. I mean, I went down home and got some law and put a hurting on him. The county prosecutor thought he had an airtight case. See, they thought they had Randolph Davis. See, they found all these number slips in Randolph Davis' locker at the plant. But instead of the plant guards going into his locker, the city police did, and they didn't have a search warrant. Which means that all the evidence that they had against Randolph Davis was obtained illegally. None of the evidence, therefore, was admissible. 10 more minutes and Randolph Davis would have walked out of that courtroom a free man. I was just getting ready to call for a dismissal on a point of law, but then judge called for a recess for lunch. Lunch. Then when we got back from lunch, the judge was getting ready to hand down a decision, and then somebody tipped the judge that I wasn't a member of the bar. Never mind that I had won the case. I mean, I had them beat on every point of law.
Oh, Celie, honey.
Yeah.
Take this meat down. Put it in the freezer for me, please.
Mama, if that judge hadn't called that recess...
Get out the way, honey.
I told Randolph Davis I'd get him off.
Hello? Attorney Aquila. Freeman, it's for you.
Who is it? What case? Who is this? Say, man, are you trying to be funny? They just raided the gambling joint and want me to take the case. Go to hell!
Who was it?
Some clown on a square trying to make fun of me. I bet they're just waiting down there to give me the business.
Wait on.
Down on the square. Show them who the fool is.
I wouldn't go down there if I were you, Freeman.
I gotta go.
Suit yourself.
Oh, Celie, I gotta go out for a little while.
But what about supper?
I eat it when I come back.
But it won't be hot.
Stick it in the stove. I eat it when I come back.
It'll be cold.
I'll eat it cold.
I want you to stay here and eat your supper hot.
Just stick it in the stove!
I'll throw it away first. Flush it down the toilet. Mr. Reesa, Freeman's going out.
Freeman, we getting ready to put the food on the table.
Stay out of it, Teresa.
Now, here's your supper. I'm going to flush it down the toilet.
Now you're satisfied. You got to upset.
She was born upset.
Maybe you ought to talk to her.
About what? will you not trouble me with those folks and get the supper ready? Work me nigh unto death.
I don't see why you don't just go on and retire. Well, everybody else that gets hurt on a job out there does. And all you got to do is say your head's bothering you. You could go right on disability.
Well, I ain't built like that. My head's bothering me, sure, but not enough to keep me away from my job.
Well, just as soon as I can, I'm sure gonna retire. Feet all swollen up.
Quit wearing them cheap shoes.
Every time I think about having to go back to that hospital.
I keep telling you to quit.
Well, you ain't gonna have to tell me that much longer.
Heard that before.
I got my time set.
Is that right?
Yeah. Go open the door.
Ned,
Hi, Rex.
Hey, Rex.
how are you, Mr. Reeser?
Oh, I'm just fine. Except that Moloch General Hospital about to work me to death.
Well, why don't you let me have you transferred to an easier job?
Oh, no. My time is set out there, and it ain't gonna be much longer. I reckon I can see it through till then.
How about you, Ned? How you doing?
Oh, he ain't doing too good. He won't admit it, but he's half sick.
Some days I feel pretty fair.
His head's bothering him.
Ned?
Once in a while. But I figure I'm lucky to be here.
Well, sure lucky we knew you. If you hadn't been able to get that brain surgeon.
Well, I'm glad I was in a position to do it.
So how's Callie?
Ah, she's just fine, Mr. Reeser.
Oh, I saw her downtown one day last week.
Uh-huh.
Lord, she sure was dressed. Ooh, she had an outfit on.
Yeah, she loves clothes.
Looked right through me.
She didn't say anything?
Never parted her lips. Now, don't you say nothing to her about it, Rex. Callie's always been like that from a girl on up.
No, it don't mean anything. Her father was like that.
Is Freeman home?
Oh, you came to pick him up. Oh, he's upstairs.
Freeman!
Yeah? Who is it, Rex?
Come on down, old buddy.
Hey, Rex.
How you doing, old buddy?
What's happening?
It's your world. I'm just struggling through.
Hey, man, I've been trying to call you. Left some messages on your service?
I've been so busy, I hardly had time to turn around. Anything important?
The deal we talked about.
What deal is that, old buddy?
Don't you remember?
Oh, buddy, I've been so busy, I hardly remember my name.
Dawson's Foundry.
Dawson Foundry.
They've closed down.
Yeah, I know.
That building's still standing there for sale.
So?
Remember, I talked to you about it. Look, the building stands right at the edge of the projects. Now, we make a co-op plant out of it. The people in the projects will own a piece of it. They share the profits.
Yeah.
Could be bought for a song.
What would we do with it?
Make slip covers for cars. Listen, man, we could get a contract from Moloch Motors to make slip covers for cars.
Well, how would we get the contract?
By making them cheaper than they can make them. And we can make them cheaper because everybody will be partners in the company. Do you realize what that would mean? Huh? Listen, if we could employ 3,000 people in this town, black people would have some power. We'd be contributing 3,000 paychecks to the economy.
That would be something.
Yeah, the black people ain't gonna get no power until they stop becoming consumers and start becoming producers. We went through all this.
Yeah, I remember.
You and me can run it. Now, I do most of the work because I know you press for tan.
Oh,
Freeman, man, why don't you write the whole thing down? Write it down in black and white, and then you and I can sit down and have a chat about it. I mean, a real chat, as soon as I get some time.
When will that be?
Well, I have to try and make some time somewhere along the way.
Look, man, we got to move on this thing. That building's valuable. Do you know what it would cost to build that building? And it's in the black community. Moloch Motors could, they would have snapped that up.
Oh, look, Freeman,
Why don't you put it down in facts and figures and get it to me?
Hello, Dr. Coleman.
Hello, Osalie.
Oh.
Say, when are you gonna make this cat a daddy?
Well, it won't be long now, Dr. Coleman. You came to pick us up?
Well, not exactly. Kelly called me at the hospital and said you wanted me to pick you up.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to bother Dad.
Gio, buddy, you really put me on the spot.
Put you on the spot how?
You see, it's invitational.
Since when do I need an invitation to come to your house?
It's my house, but it's not my party.
Whose party is it?
We gave the house over to the Business and Professional Men's Club. They sent out the invitations.
Well, you're a member of the Business and Professional Men's Club. Didn't you get any invitations?
I would have sent you one, but
But what?
they're going for $100 a couple.
Well, don't you think I could afford $100?
You've got a lot better things to do with your money.
I can afford it.
Well, the invitations are all gone. There were only a limited number. The food and drinks are all measured out. Besides, I wouldn't have you paying to come to my house. I'm gonna throw a real party for my real friends later on, eh?
You mean the foundry workers? Business and Professional Men's Club. They're not your friends.
In a matter of speaking, you see, tonight's affair is more of a smoker than anything else.
We ain't going to the party?
No, we're not going to the party. Would you go upstairs and take that dress off?
Osalie, I am going to throw a party for my real friends real soon.
Uh-huh.
Why didn't you just call?
We're friends. You don't call friends.
And uninvite them to your house?
You're mad. Mad about a stinking party.
It's the principle of the thing.
All right. Call Osalie.
Call Osalie for what?
You want to go to the party that badly? Does it mean that much to you? Call Osalie and come on.
You better get going, man. Callie be wondering what happened to you.
I do have a house full of people.
I thought it was a housewarming. I bought you a gift.
Thanks. Ned, Mr. Risa,
Had a little mix-up, huh?
Freeman should have called you about it.
I wish he had called me. I wouldn't have thrown a party and not invited Freeman. He would have been the first person I would invite.
I know you would.
Now, Kelly and I will have you over to the house real soon.
Oh, that'll be nice.
You mind unbuttoning this for me? Can I ask you something? You won't get mad.
Go ahead, I won't get mad.
Is you crazy?
Now, where did you get that from?
Going to parties you ain't invited to? Oh, the way you walk around, dressed up all the time, and toting that case like you think you somebody important. You don't want to have work and get hold of nothing. I think there's something the matter with you.
Osalie, go to bed.
Freeman,
I said go to bed!
don't holler at me. I ain't used to nobody hollering at me.
Well, somebody needs to holler at you.
You just talk to me that way because I ain't got no kinfolks up here. If my daddy or my brothers was here, you wouldn't talk to me that way.
I'm so sick of hearing about your relatives. They're all a bunch of sharecroppers. Osalie, will you get up? Osalie, get up. All right. Lay there, then.
I see you got your wires crossed.
Yeah,
Well, I reckon next time you check with folks first.
next time.
Where's O'Sully?
Sleep.
Is she upset about not going to the party?
Yeah. Yeah, she's upset about not going to the party.
I'm gonna tell my daddy. I'm sure gonna tell him. See if I don't. Think 'cause I ain't got no kin folks up here can treat me any kind of way.
They're fine. Very nice. Miss Teresa, what do you think about all this?
Well, I guess he'll do about as well as some of those who used to sit down there on the city commission.
You mean before Dr. Fairchild?
Well, I wouldn't compare Freeman with Dr. Fairchild.
What did he ever do?
Oh, he did a lot for this district in his time.
That's not what you said when you ran against him.
That was just campaign talk. I mean, Jim and I don't agree on a lot of things, but I do have to give him credit for what he did in his time. And he was a professional man.
What does that mean?
Well, he didn't have to sit down there on the commission. He had a very lucrative practice. He could have turned his back and ignored the problems of this district.
Always liked Dr. Fairchild.
You liked him.
Well, I always had a lot of respect for Dr. Fairchild. No, he was the second black professional man in this town.
Mama, that doesn't mean anything.
Oh, Celie, you think you're like being a commissioner's wife?
Well, I don't know, Dr. Coleman. I don't know that much about it.
You'll make a good commissioner's wife.
What I have to do?
Oh, nothing you couldn't handle. Entertain a little bit, that's all. You do very well. Ned, what do you think about all this?
I don't know if I have any thoughts about it.
Come on, Ned, that's not like you.
I just heard about it a little while ago.
Would you advise him to run?
I only give advice when I'm asked for it.
You didn't talk this over with Ned, Freeman?
I didn't talk it over with anyone.
Well, don't you talk things over with people before you make your moves? It's something you're gonna have to learn how to do, Freeman.
Freeman's got a mind of his own.
I wish you talked it over with me before you put those things up.
Why?
I think it would have been a good idea.
You're backing me, aren't you? Now, we had an agreement.
An agreement?
4 years ago, the first time you ran, the night you were elected, remember? You said you'd keep it 2 terms, then you'd bless me.
Freeman, to run for city commissioner, you would have to give up your job at Moloch Motors.
Why would I have to give up my job?
Because campaigning is a full-time job itself.
I'm going on sick leave. Didn't you fill out the forms?
Yes.
Well, do I get it?
Oh, I didn't know what you wanted it for.
I need a sick leave, Rex.
Freeman, I examined you. I couldn't find nothing wrong with you. Now, you can't ask me to lie for you.
Your wife's about to have a baby and you going on sick leave?
It doesn't look like I'm going on sick leave, does it, Rex?
Well, you can't expect Rex to lie for you, Freeman.
Then I guess I'll have to quit.
Quit? Quit your job?
And throw away all your seniority?
You better clear your head, fella.
Who you backing to take your place on the commission, Rex?
It was decided we'd back Luther Henderson.
4 years ago, we had an agreement.
Things were different then. 4 years ago, there were only 3 black professional men in this town. Now there are over 25 and more coming every year.
Yeah, and as soon as they fill their pockets up, they move out to Blanchfield Hills.
Freeman, I didn't decide against you. The Business and Professional Men's Club picked Luther Henderson. I am one member of that club. Now, I can't buck them just because you're my friend.
So you pick him over me.
Freeman, do you know the first thing about municipal government? What training do you have?
I'm a student of political science.
So, you're a student of political science.
I got an A in my political science course. I know municipal government backwards and forwards. Open it to any page.
You don't have to prove anything to me, Freeman.
I want you to open the book.
You can still run, but I just can't back you. Good night.
Judas. Come back. Don't go away, Judas! I'm a student of political science! I'm a student of political science!
Freeman! Freeman!
I am, Dad.
What?
A student of political science.
Freeman? It's me, Rex.
What are you doing sitting out here?
No one was home.
Come inside.
Let's sit out here for a while.
It's cold out on this porch.
Sit down, Freeman. It's been a long time since we sat out here on this porch.
Long time.
Porch almost seems haunted. Listen. I can still hear the echoes. Sitting out here tonight waiting for you, lots of things started to come back. All the nights we spent out here on this porch. Remember? Remember how the whole gang used to come over here and sit around half the night? Until Ned got tired. Come down, make the guys go home.
Rex, what do you want? I know you came over here for something else besides talking over old times.
Well, you're putting up a much better campaign than anybody ever expected. Freeman, it takes roughly between $10,000 and $12,000 to wage the kind of campaign you're mounting. Where'd you get the money, Freeman?
Now, I don't know that that's any of your business.
You're no fool. You know where the money's coming from, the worst white element in this town.
I know.
You know Samuel Hicks is running.
He won't get his weight in votes.
You think so? He's an old-fashioned white liberal. Lots of folks still remember him from the old days.
He's a right-winger now.
Black people don't know that. He could cut into the black vote.
No way.
Freeman, have you ever read the city charter? Well, if you read the section governing elections, it reads that if a candidate in a district doesn't get a majority, then the selection of that candidate of that district gets thrown back into the city commission.
They wouldn't dare pick Hicks.
Well, don't be too sure what people wouldn't do.
You'd still be on the commission.
I'd be a lame duck. There'd be 1 vote in 7. They could pick Hicks. And then you know what they could do? They could return this city back to citywide elections.
I may get a majority.
I suppose you don't. Suppose Luther doesn't.
I'll have to risk it.
You'd risk that? I begged the guys to let me come over here and talk to you. I knew before I came that it'd be a waste of time asking you to drop out of the election. So now I'm telling you, drop out.
How you sound.
Freeman, if you don't pull out of this election, the Business and Professional Men's Club will expose the source of your campaign contributions.
Expose?
It'll be circulated throughout the district.
You mean you'll smear me?
No, we're not going to smear you. We're merely going to inform the voters of District 1 the source of your campaign contributions.
You know what you're doing, don't you? You'd be branding me an Uncle Tom.
The voters of this district have a right to know who's paying for your campaign.
This your idea?
What does it matter whose idea it was?
Since you like playing lackey so much, you go back and tell the Business and Professional Men's Club that I'll burn in hell before I drop out.
Freeman, pull out.
going to say? It's cold out here. Besides, the porch is haunted.
You vote yet?
Yeah, I voted.
When?
On the way home from work.
You sure?
Well, I reckon I ain't got good sense. I ain't got sense enough to know whether or not I did something.
Who you vote for?
That ain't none of your business. That's why they have them curtains up round the booth. You think he's got a chance of winning?
I don't know.
Well, everybody I talked to said they gonna vote for him. Heard when I got off from work he was leading. Did you vote for him?
That's why they got them curtains around them voting booths. What's she doing down there?
She doing a washing.
She vote yet?
Says she did. You know, folks say he really put on a campaign.
That's what they say.
You voted yet?
Yeah, we voted. How does it look?
Looks good. The polls just closed about an hour ago.
Oh, son.
Why don't we sit down and relax?
Where's Rosalie?
Downstairs in the cellar.
Rosalie! They'll be calling any minute now. I want you up here. Hey, Rex, go in.
Hi, Rex.
Hey, Rex.
How you folks this evening?
Just fine.
Just fine. Just
Hello, Dr. Coleman.
I was just getting ready to call you. I want you to take the post on the hospital board. Now, I know you're busy, but it won't take up much of your time.
Freeman,
What?
you lost.
Lost? But I was leading.
You were earlier. The first precincts had you in the lead. When the others came in...
That's impossible.
Well, Freeman, I just left Luther Henderson.
No!
Take it easy, Freeman.
What precincts gave it to Luther?
I don't know. I didn't have a breakdown.
I want to recount.
Then have a recount. That's close enough for you to have a recount. You can file for it. Now, I wouldn't if I were you, but you can.
well, let it go, son. Let it go.
I'm not going to let it go. They're not going to make a fool out of me. I won. I won!
Don't ask for a recount, Freeman. It'll only make you look like a bad loser.
Well, at least it's all over.
Did he get a majority?
Yeah. Luther got a majority.
Somebody had to lose.
They'll be coming, Freeman.
Who'll be coming?
Luther Henderson's victory celebration.
What for?
To ridicule me. They drive over and shine their lights in the house, honk their horns.
Well, now that sure is mean.
Well, that's why they do it. Where you going, son?
Out on the porch, I don't want to disappoint them.
Don't go out there, Freeman.
You people, go on to bed.
Now, why do you want to do that to yourself?
Rex.
Yes, Mr. Reese. You all right?
You better get out of here.
I'll stick around.
Go on home. Get out of here.
I said I'll stick around.
They cheated me out of it, didn't they?
You can believe that if you want to.
Tell me the truth, Rex.
If I can.
They stole it.
I honestly don't know.
What do you think?
It's possible. Anything is possible.
You're not gonna get away with it.
Me?
You and the Business and Professional Men's Club.
You're not gonna drop it, are you?
I'll burn in hell first.
Yes, I know you will.
You tell your friends, all of them, they better make sure they covered their tracks well, because I'm coming after them. Understand?
Mr. Ned?
Huh?
Would you do me a favor?
What?
Would you get me an application form from Moloch Motors?
You want to hire out to Moloch Motor?
They pay that good money out there, don't they?
Yeah.
Got a heap of women working out there.
You don't want to be working out there. Something I never approved of is a woman working.
Miss Teresa works.
Yes, she works. What about your child?
I could pay somebody to take care of it while I work. See, why I want to put my application form in now is so by the time I have the baby, they didn't call my name. They don't call you right away, do they?
Not generally.
Freeman says you could get people on out there.
Freeman said that?
Well, would you, Mr. Ned? Would you get me on out there? Now, I'm a good worker. You wouldn't have to be scared none about recommending me.
I'll see.
Thanks, Mr. Ned.
Ned, my car's acting funny. I want you to run me out to the flea market.
How long are you going to be out there?
Well, till I sell my stuff. I'll call you to come pick me up.
Good morning.
Morning. Anybody see my silver fruit dish?
I think it's on the buffet in the dining room.
Lord Jesus! Freeman, you've been putting your cigarette butts in my silver fruit dish. I had this silver fruit dish on the buffet. You put your cigarette butts in it.
Ain't that an ashtray?
Ashtray? I bought that out at the trading post. Lord, I can't have nothing. Not around these Negroes. I bet if I went to sleep with my mouth open, I'd wake up with a mouthful of ashes. Smokers would be using it for an ashtray.
Well, it looked like an ashtray to me.
That is an antique.
An antique. See, white folks sell niggas their junk and call it an antique.
Well, let her believe it's an antique.
Say, Dad, you talked to Mama about that thing?
Now, I'm going to give you this money.
Thanks.
I want my money back.
You get it back.
What are you planning to do?
Plan to do about what?
Your wife and child.
Oh, Dad, I got that covered.
I talked to the general foreman out at the plant the other day. Sent your name up to the front office. You can ride out with me on Monday morning and rehire in. It means you're going to have to hire in as a new man. Freeman, you're a grown man. And I can't have you laying around here not working.
I'm waiting on you, Ned.
All right, Teresa. Now, you can ride out with me on Monday morning.
See y'all later.
Boy, Your daddy sure is good to you.
Hey, y'all, wake up.
What is it, Monday morning?
What time is it?
About 12:30.
Ned, you better get up and go to bed. Won't want to get up in the morning.
You better come on to bed too, Freeman. You ain't gonna want to get up and go to work in the morning.
Oh, Milan, that whistle be blowing in a little while.
Dad, I got it.
What?
Affidavit signed and notarized. I can prove there was a fraud in the election.
Oh, Celine, did you fix Freeman's lunch?
Shoot.
Ned, you ready for tomorrow?
Is that what you did with my money? Oh, Celie,
Sir,
did you wash out an apron for Freeman?
it's on the line.
Three men took the machines out of the polling place.
Freeman, you want an apple in your lunch?
Dad, those machines disappeared for 3 hours before they were brought back to the polling place.
Go to bed, son.
Dad.
We got to get up and meet the man in the morning.
Meet the man.
Freeman, it's almost Monday morning.
Dad, Mama, I don't have to go back into that foundry. I can prove they stole it from me.
Freeman, tell me about it tomorrow. Let's talk about it on the job tomorrow.
I ain't going back into that foundry.
Then what are you gonna do?
I ain't going back out there and push that bull another step. I'm not going to spend the rest of my life pushing the bull.
I pushed the bull, been pushing it for 30 years.
What's pushing the bull?
The nigger job. They wrap a chain around you connected to a big iron cup of white-hot steel that hangs from the ceiling, and you have to pull it 40 or 50 yards to the moles. And you pull it back and forth, 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, 2,000 hours a year.
You think I'm in love with the bull? You think I like biting the dust down at Moloch Motors? You think I like getting out of here to meet the man? I try to keep you out of that foundry.
You tried to keep me out of it. You're the one who put me in it. You're the one who took me down there and chained me to the bull. You took me down to that foundry and wrapped that chain around me. You remember that, Dad? The day after I got kicked out of Moloch High. I told you I'd never go back if I had to apologize to that racist bitch. The very next day, you took me down to the foundry and wrapped the chain around me. I was 17 years old.
What'd you expect your daddy to do? Let you lay up here on your behind?
Look, I didn't know you was gonna stay. I thought you'd get a taste of it and then go back to school.
Both knew I'd never go back.
Well, you could have gone back to school.
All I could see was the long money.
You just kept your mouth shut.
That's right, Mom. If I just kept my mouth shut like Rex.
I begged you, Freeman, keep your mouth shut. Stay in school. Get what you need.
You should have gotten it when you had the chance.
Chance for what? To take this shit?
You've been blessed, Freeman, and you didn't even know it. I wanted to make sure that you didn't have to come up under the same kind of conditions that I came up under in the South, and I did. I gave you your chance, Freeman. And you fooled around and let time run out on you.
I will be an accessory to my own murder. I am not going to end up like you.
Freeman.
You're a dead man.
Freeman.
You talk about retirement, your pension. They got it all figured out. They know for all practical purposes, when you walk out of that foundry, within 10 years you'll be dead. Then they won't have to pay you for long.
Stop that crazy talk.
Oh, let him go on, Teresa.
Daddy, I remember when you were a strong man. But you're not a strong man anymore. What happened to all that strength you used to have?
Yes, I sold my strength. That was all I had to sell. It was the only thing anyone would buy from me. I should have made sure you had something else to sell. I should have beaten you all the way to hell and back and made you go back to school.
What good would that have done?
None, maybe. But I would have done my part.
You did your part, Ned.
I can prove you stole it from me.
Well, guess there wasn't no need in fixing your lunch.
You know something?
What'd you say?
Huh? Why didn't say that? Suppose Freeman was in jail for murder.
Ned, what you mumbling about? Is your head bothering you?
No, my head ain't bothering me. Teresa, supposing Freeman was in jail for murder, and I wanted to mortgage this house to keep him out of the electric chair.
Ned, what are you rambling about? You know good and well they don't have capital punishment in Michigan.
Oh, I know that, but let's say, for instance, they did.
If your head's bothering you, I wish you'd take your medicine.
If that boy was sitting in jail, would I mortgage this house? Got to pull together. Gotta get a hold of something. Gotta get a hold of a little something in this life. Work together. Gotta try to build a little respect for each other. Do you think she's in love with him?
If she is, she got to be mental.
Ned?
Rex, come on in. We were just reading about you.
Rex?
I saw it, Miss Teresa.
That's a good picture of you. It looks just like you.
I see the governor's gonna make the dedication.
Lieutenant Governor.
The Rex Coleman Community Center. When does it open?
Well, we'll begin operations next week. We're still fixing it up, of course. It'll probably be a year before it's completed. Is Freeman home?
Yeah, he's upstairs.
Freeman! Hey, Freeman!
Be right down, Rex. I saw your picture in the paper.
I kind of figured you had.
The Rex Coleman Community Center.
It's going to mean a lot to the people in this district.
I told you about Dawson's Foundry, and you went behind my back and got it.
I didn't go behind your back and do anything.
I told you I wanted to open a slipcover factory in that building.
Do you know what it would take to open up a slipcover factory? Do you know how much cash we would need? The credit, the equipment? Not to mention the people we'd have to rub down.
You're good at that, aren't you? Rubbing people down.
I get things done. This way the building serves the whole community.
We would have been serving the community, too. We would have been producing something, jobs, not always having to ask the white man for jobs. And we could have done it, too. Be a cold day in hell if I ever tell you about anything else.
I knew about that building before Dawson closed down operations. We had to vote to use it as a polling place. Now, do you think that old man Dawson would have given that building to us to go into business? he would have laughed in our faces.
Good evening, Dr. Coleman.
Oh, hello, Ossie.
What y'all fussing about?
Oh, we're not fussing. We're just having a little discussion. I took your idea up at the meeting of the Business and Professional Men's Club, and it was concluded that your idea was impractical at this time.
It's a wonder they didn't try to steal it from me like they did the election.
They didn't steal the election from you, Freeman.
They didn't, huh?
I checked it out, man. The election was on the up and up.
You're a liar.
You take it easy, Freeman.
I can prove it. Maybe I can't lay it on the Business and Professional Men's Club, but I can prove fraud.
So what? What if you could prove fraud? What would it get you? Another election? The only reason why you did so well last time is because they played you cheap. This time they would crucify you.
Yeah, well, we'll see who the crucifix is.
I know all about the affidavits, Freeman.
You know about it.
What do they mean?
Those machines disappeared from the polling place. 3 men came into the polling place and took them out for 3 hours.
Those men were from the Board of Elections. The machines jammed. They had to be taken downtown and worked on. The marshal was there the whole time.
No, I have sworn statements.
To what? To the fact that the machines were removed for a couple of hours? Sure, those men signed those affidavits. They didn't lie. The only lie is in what you read into them, and you paid them, Freeman.
You lying, man.
Would I lie about a thing like that?
You sure was silly, Freeman.
Oh, so they're gone upstairs.
I'd have thought you had better sense than that.
Oh, Celine, would you just go upstairs?
Don't talk to her like that, Freeman.
It's all right, Dr. Coleman. It don't matter how he talks to me. I ain't nothing.
You could always do that, couldn't you?
Do what?
Smile with a word. You're a master there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't you, Rex?
Freeman.
Look, man, why don't you do me a favor? Why don't you just leave me alone?
Look.
Leave me alone, please!
Okay. But I just want you to know one thing. If there had been any fraud in that election, if the club had cheated you out of it, I would have walked. Now, do you believe that, Freeman?
Do you believe that, Rex?
Yes, I do.
Where you going?
I'm going out for a walk.
Want a little company?
I kind of want to be by myself for a little while. You sleep.
What do you want?
I just hoped I hadn't woke you up.
No. Couldn't get to sleep.
Listen, I wasn't trying to hurt your feelings.
What you come messing with me for?
You mean marry you?
Now, we both know why we got married. But what you come fooling around with me? I came here to find me somebody. Somebody I could work with, do well with. And I done got trapped with you. Half scared now you done mocked my baby with your strange ways.
Listen, I wasn't trying to hurt your feelings. It may have looked that way, man.
You ain't like nobody I ever knew. You ain't like nobody down home. There's something the matter with you.
Tonight, every dream I ever had.
Dreams don't mean nothing, Freeman. Can't bring anything out of a dream. I used to dream I had money in my hand. Tried to hold on to it tight as I could so I'd have it when I woke up. But then when I woke up, it was gone. When you can wake up with your dreams in your hand, then they mean something. When you can bring your dreams out into the light of day, then they mean something. Otherwise, they're just a bunch of dead things, best left in your sleep.
You haven't let me tell you.
I don't want to hear your foolishness.
Listen, I'm trying to tell you. I want you to understand. I know you won't. But I'm trying.
If I'm so dumb, what you telling me for? Anyway, I don't want to hear it. All I want to hear about is getting a house with some food on the table to feed this child and some shoes to put on his feet.
Look, also,
Don't you hit me. My mama done raised me already. Because if you hit me, I'll get you. I'll get you if I have to catch you sleeping.
I'm going to give you something to get me.
Get up! Oh, I'm carrying your baby. Mr. Ned! Mr. Ned! Mr. Ned!
Come on in. What is this?
Freeman jumped on me. He's crazy.
You two got to stop that in this house.
I want to go home. I want to go home.
Get the hell out of here right now, here.
Freeman!
Oh, Freeman! What are you doing?
No.
Freeman?
Freeman!
Help! Help! Police! They trying to murder me!
You want to go home? I'm going to help you. I want your ass out of here tonight.
Oh, Celine, come back in the house.
Help! Help! Somebody!
Oh, Celine, please, come back in the house.
Oh, Celine, you come back in this house, girl.
Mama! Oh, Mama!
I'll get you things.
No. No, leave him out there. So everybody can see what a big fool he is.
Rex.
I brought you folks a deer.
A deer?
I bagged him yesterday morning. Got him tied to the bumper of the car.
Well, aren't you going to take it home to Carolyn?
She doesn't know how to cook venison.
Well, it's been so long since I tried to cook venison. Ain't even funny.
Well, you don't want it?
Well, none of us really like venison.
Well, now that I got the darn thing, I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
Why didn't you give it to Luther Henderson?
He's still up at the lodge.
Lodge.
Yeah, a bunch of us chipped in and bought a 12-room lodge up north. They're all still up there.
Why did you come back from your hunting trip, Rex?
Ned, I need your help. I received a phone call from the Coleman Community Center. Freeman has been over there bugging.
Bugging them?
He's been picketing them.
Oh, Lord.
I was hoping you would talk to him, Ned.
Well, I can't talk to him.
Well, I can't let him harass the people who are trying to work over there.
No. I reckon you can't.
The center is very important to me.
I know it's important to you. You put your name on it. Anytime a man puts his name on something, it should be important to him.
Well, if somebody doesn't talk to him, he's going to wind up in jail.
No, Rex.
Well, you'd put Freeman in jail?
If he keeps on.
But you two grew up together.
You were like brothers. Closest thing either one of you had to a brother.
Well, I wouldn't want to, Miss Teresa. Ned,
That's between you and Freeman.
I want you to talk to him.
So you won't have to put him in jail.
You have to make him listen to you.
Listen to me.
I'm pleading with you, Ned.
No.
Oh, do you want him to go to jail?
Want to put him in jail? Put him in jail. Go on. Put him in jail.
You wouldn't do that.
Well, don't
Not
make me
you,
do it.
Rex.
Don't make me do it.
I ain't making you do anything.
Well, don't you care?
It's all over for me. First thing Monday morning, I'm going downtown and gonna put everything in Teresa's name.
Put everything in my name.
House, lots, and everything.
Ned, what are you talking about?
Get in my car and drive right on off.
Drive off where?
Arizona, maybe. Who knows?
Don't pay any attention to Ned. He ain't going nowhere. Whenever his head bothers him, he starts talking that old fool talk.
Fool talk. I wonder if I ever talked anything else but fool talk.
What about me?
The house is bought and paid for.
Freeman,
What about it?
are you going to turn your back on him?
You did, didn't you?
Ned,
You want me to make it unnecessary for you to put my son in jail.
He didn't say that, Ned.
Why didn't you help him?
help him.
You could have.
How?
You could have found a way.
Now, you're not being fair.
Fair. Maybe I'm being too fair. Then again, not fair enough.
Well, I would have if there had been any way.
We can't blame Rex for Freeman.
Is that what you're doing, Ned?
I ain't doing nothing. I ain't blaming nobody.
You are blaming me. Now, I came back here. I left my hunting trip and came back. Now, I could have just let them call the police on him. I don't want to see Freeman in trouble.
God, he's been in trouble all his life.
Well, that's not my fault. You make it sound like it's my fault.
I did a better job with you than I did with my own boy. You wanted to be a doctor. There's something I could understand, encourage.
Well, you did encourage me, Ned. You did more. You fed me. You took me in your house. You put clothes on my back. And when I came home on weekends, Miss Teresa would wash them. You helped me pay my way through medical school. Now, I can't pay you back, Ned. There's no way. I used to think that one day I would, but then I began to realize there's no way to pay back that kind of thing.
I never wanted you to pay me back. I never expected it. I was glad to do it. You see, I always knew what you wanted. I could feel what you wanted, appreciated, knew about it, had a frame of reference to it. But Freeman, I never had no understanding what it was that he wanted. I never had the slightest idea in the world what he was after. You're an educated man, Rex. You tell me.
I can't tell you.
But you're a doctor. You're an educated man. And if you don't know, how it was easier with him. Oh, it's so much easier with you. That's why we helped you, I reckon. We could do for you what we never could do for Freeman. We made a difference between you and Freeman, and it all was on your side.
I never made no difference.
That ain't true, Teresa.
You telling me I made a difference between my own son and Rex?
Rex knows that.
Rex, did I ever treat you different from Freeman? From the day your mother died, did I ever make the slightest bit of difference between you two? Rex, did I?
Miss Teresa.
You used to hate to see him coming. We both did. We used to wish he'd just go off somewhere and never come back.
Why would I wish that?
Because he was different?
Different?
Yes, ma'am, Miss Teresa.
You mean he wouldn't do right? And he sure, Lord, was different. Just couldn't make him do right. You never gave me a minute's trouble the longest day you lived in this house.
What did he ever really do?
Always into something. Never could get along with anybody, knew it all. Whoever had a good word to say for him when he was coming along?
Including you and me.
Never wanted to be nothing.
No, Miss Teresa, I don't think that's true.
Could have been anything he wanted to be. I would have worked my fingers to the bone if he had just wanted to make something out of himself. Oh, I'd have been so proud if he had wanted to be a lawyer or a doctor.
Maybe that wasn't what he wanted to be.
No, he wanted to be a pump.
No, Miss Teresa, Freeman never wanted to be a bum.
What's wrong with him, Rex?
A lot of things.
Do something. We ain't gonna be with him always. What's gonna become of him when we go? Help him, Rex.
Miss Teresa.
Help him. Promise me you'll help him.
I promise, Miss Teresa, I'll do what I can. Hello, Freeman.
Hello, Ma.
Freeman?
Dad?
Freeman?
Rex.
Freeman.
Huh?
Man, what are you doing?
I'm going to bed.
Why are you harassing those workers over there at the center?
Because they have no right being there.
Why? What is wrong with people helping people? People need help. It helps to talk your problems over with someone. Black people are no exception.
They've already started giving out birth control pills. They've been over at the project passing out birth control pills to black women.
Now, would you rather have those women over there dropping litters of babies, growing up without fathers, generation after generation on welfare?
It's genocide.
Genocide? How is it genocide?
What do you call it, Rex? It's a missionary system all over again, only this time they have briefcases instead of crosses.
I promised Ned and Miss Teresa that I would try and help you straighten yourself out. Now, look. Look, Freeman. You don't have a job. You lost all your seniority over at Moloch Motors. Now, if you leave that center alone, I think I can get you a job over there.
A job?
We need a sanitation engineer.
Sanitation engineer. You mean janitor?
You'd have 2, perhaps 3 men working under you.
That sounds like a good job.
Foreman of the janitors.
The job pays around $15,000 a year.
Well, that's as much as I make at Moloch Motors.
A $15,000 a year janitor.
Well, it's not a dirty job. You can go dressed up every day. Your title would be sanitation supervisor. You'd be in charge of the maintenance of the building. You'd be given a budget for that purpose, and then perhaps at the end of the year, there'd be a little left over.
I could keep that, huh? Maybe knock down a little bit on the side. What about the pop bottles I found? Would they be mine too? Could I cash them in and keep the deposit?
Freeman, take the job.
I get this for laying off the center.
No. You get it because I promised Ned and Miss Teresa.
Well, I ain't no goddamn sanitation engineer!
Freeman,
Where you going?
I'm going to the hospital.
Yeah? Where's Mom and Dad?
They left for work a few minutes ago.
I didn't even hear him.
Want some coffee? I looked in on Osa Lee and your new boy yesterday morning. He looks just like you.
Looks like Dad to me.
Hard pair of lungs.
I guess he takes that after me.
He's a big fella. You're gonna have to move to keep up with him. Osa Lee is due to bring him back home tomorrow, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Well, as soon as you finish your coffee, I'll drive you over to the Coleman Community Center.
I can walk.
I'll drive you over, introduce you around.
Introduce me around?
See to it that you get started on a right foot. I want you and Bert Callahan to get off to a fresh start.
Bert Callahan.
He's the director of the center.
Oh, you mean that little white fag that runs the center?
Now, what do you call him a fag, Freeman?
Because that's what he is.
Well, how do you know? How do you know he's a fag?
The way he switches.
You're not going over there calling him a fag, I hope.
I ain't going over there calling him nothing. I don't want nothing to do with the fag.
You're going to be working under him, Freeman. He's the director of the center.
He's the director. A switching little white fag.
He has a master's degree in social work.
You know, maybe I can help them people over there do some good.
You're not being hired to do that.
I'm being hired to mop the floor.
Now, don't go over there trying to run the place.
I could study up on social work.
Freeman, you are the sanitation engineer, and Mr. Callahan...
Mr. Callahan.
Yes, Mr. Callahan, the director of the Coleman Community Center.
So I have to call him Mr. Callahan. What does he call me? Boy?
He'll call you by your name.
Freeman.
Freeman.
He calls me Freeman. I have to call him Mr. Callahan. What do I call you, Rex? Dr. Coleman?
I don't care what you call me.
You want me to call you Dr. Coleman when you come in the center?
Would it kill you?
What does Mama call you at the hospital?
Dr. Coleman?
What do you call her?
Aquella.
Aquella.
It's just a formality.
I'm gonna check him out very carefully over there. I catch him doing anything funny, I'm gonna report to you.
No, you're not going to report anything to me. You're going to go over there and do your job, period.
Okay.
I mean that, Freeman. You're on probation over there.
Probation?
You have to prove to those people there that you can do the job.
I don't prove anything to anybody.
Yes, you do.
To Callahan?
And to me.
You?
I want you to be the best sanitation engineer anybody ever saw. 10 times better. I want you to keep your mouth shut. Do as you're told. Don't give them any arguments. Now, they ask you to do anything you don't want to do, you do it. Then come see me. If you have a legitimate gripe, I'll take it up.
Man, you better get out of my face. What do you think I have?
I'll tell you what you are. You're a man with a family, a wife, and a newborn child to support.
And because of that, I should take shit.
And because of that, you have to take shit.
Man, you talking to Freeman.
Just want you to use a little tact.
Should I scratch my head and show my teeth?
I'm not asking you to do that.
That's exactly what you're asking me to do.
All I'm asking you to do is to use a little finesse. Now, you can get anything you want if you go about it the right way.
What way is that?
You know what I mean.
No, I don't.
Man.
Why don't you teach me? Teach me how to bullshit.
The world buys bullshit. They buy it by the ton.
Then show me how to do it.
You have contempt for me, don't you, Freeman?
Do I?
Why? Because I did something with my life. You have contempt for me. Hey, you better come down to earth, boy. I have letters behind my name. What do you have?
At least I have my self-respect.
That's about all you have. I make $75,000 a year.
So you make $75,000 a year, so what?
That's an accomplishment.
Yeah, if that's what you want. Willing to do what you had to do to get it.
Your opinion of me doesn't mean a damn thing. I don't give a good goddamn what you think about me.
What are you getting so excited about?
Because I am getting tired of your abuse.
What's the matter, Rex? You can't stand a little honesty?
Honesty?
I'm direct.
You and your honesty. I forgot you're the only honest man in the world, huh?
That bothers you, don't it?
It bothers me for you. You know, you're gonna destroy yourself with that honesty. Yourself and everybody around you.
Like you do with bullshit. You're a bullshit artist, Rex.
You think you're perfect, don't you? Self-perfection.
I'm an honest man.
About other people. You use your honesty as a weapon against people. You cut them to pieces with your honesty. Ned, Teresa, Osa Lee. You've done it all your life. Yeah, I wonder what would happen if you turned some of that honesty on yourself.
I live bad.
Do you?
Damn straight.
Then what are you, Freeman? Can you, with any degree of honesty, say who and what you are? You're right. I am a bullshit artist. I learned that to survive. Now, how are you going to survive, Freeman? How are you going to make that honesty work for you?
I don't know what you mean.
What skills do you have?
Skills?
What can you do? I can bullshit. Now, what can you do?
Nothing!
Yeah, I know how hard it is for you to take this.
Go on, man.
What choices are open to you? You're an honest man. What are they?
The janitor.
Now, I won't try to influence you, but I am going to lay it right on the line. Do you want the job? Now, I could call it off like that, but if I do, that's it. Now, you think about it. You think about Osa Lee coming home with that child tomorrow.
All right, I want it.
And you have to accept it and everything that goes with it.
Go ahead and say it, Rex. I guess it's all over between you and me.
I didn't say that.
But it is. You and me.
We'll always be friends.
No. No, we won't. I don't think we've been friends for a long time. I think we just remembered we used to be friends. It's funny. What are we friends when we talk about now? Only time I get a friendly feeling coming from you is when we talk about old times.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
I won't call you anymore. No more messages left on your service for you to call me. No more harebrained schemes I'm trying to involve you in.
I never mind.
That's something that was. No more.
If you feel that way.
Yeah, I feel that way.
I hate to rush you, but,
Yeah, we better be getting on over there.
better put these things in the sink.
I always forget.